All right, fair enough. We are good on YouTube Live. So I just want to first of all introduce the meeting today, and quickly we're talking about, okay. All right, good. The YouTube account was giving me feedback. So I think we are good and good to get started with tonight. But just to hear how people have been. Karibu Bernard, I've seen Bernard, I've seen Alfred. I know others are coming through, but let me hear how guys have been. Let me start with Susan. Susan, how are you? Hello, Susan, can you unmute kindly? Okay.
I'm fine.
Susan, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, waiting for Susan to unmute. Tyrus, can you hear me? I want guys to say hi to us.
Yes, I can hear you.
Say hi to us. Tell us how you've been. It's been I think weeks, quite a number of weeks we've not met.
Indeed, yes, it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
how is business?
Good.
Biashara is going on well after lockdown.
Since we have the new normal,
it's
a matter of relying on your on your connections and formal leads which you normally have.
Yes.
But for new business, it's hardly coming by.
All right. Lessons. What lessons have you drawn from the season?
Quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But one key thing is people have to adjust to a new trend of living.
Mm-hmm.
People also have to rely on friends and networking. And actually, one thing I've also learned is about the one-on-one kind of marketing, not the robust like the big budget kind of marketing, but you rely on like word of mouth. A friend, a contact telling another friend. That's how business is now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Then also the lifestyles are changing. You find where you are spending, now that money has to go to something else. So lifestyle has been affected, but we adjust.
Okay.
So
awesome.
The new normal.
The new normal is an interesting, idea. I would want to hear what the new normal has been to someone else. Maybe I can get one more person to say something, and then we continue. Susan had unmuted. Susan, would you want to come through and say something? Okay. Fine. Let me move to someone. Bernard. Bernard, you've never said something in this meeting. If you can hear me, kindly unmute and say hi to us and tell us something about the new normal.
Yes, Pastor Geoffrey, thank you for the opportunity. For me, it's been an exciting time because I've got to understand and actually see that it's possible for someone to work from home. It's been a new experience. So it requires a lot of discipline, since now I may not really be available as I would have been in the office. But now it's so exciting, and I've gotten to spend time with my family so well. So it's a good thing. However, I'm not happy about the fact that getting to meet with colleagues now has not been possible for the past few months, but it's a good experience. Yeah.
Okay. You're in technology, right? You're a
Yes.
tech guy.
Yes.
Are you finding new opportunities in that market, in that sector? Sorry.
Yes, right now, mostly because we do DHIS2 systems. So we see that for the last few months, we've been having requests from the government, mostly NASCOP, asking us to prepare data sets and all that about COVID-19. So yes, there are new opportunities.
Aha, awesome. That's
Yeah.
a good idea. I think the technology sector is going to see some serious growth. And let me hear from Alfred. Hi, Alfred, how are you? Alfred, can you hear me? Okay, I'm trying to unmute everyone because I think there was an automatic mute. Alfred, can you hear me? All right, yeah. Hi, Alfred. All right, technology. Once Alfred and Susan are through, kindly let me hear from you. Hi, Lorraine. Hi, Lorraine, can you hear me from that end? I think let me check. Everyone, Paul, I'm on. Okay, Alfred, I see your point. Thank you. Sorry for that. You're on computer, can video call. No, it's okay. Not a problem. I just want to get a few people to tell us how things have been. Lorraine, if you can hear me, either Lorraine, Susan, or Alfred, before I get Johnny from Nakuru to talk to us. Either of those. Johnny, hi. Yeah, right.
Hi.
Okay, Lorraine, I understand. That's okay. All right. It's okay if your background is not very clear. It's all right. I understand it's late. Yes, Johnny, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. It's great to see you again. It's good to be back on the forum. It's been a time of innovation for us. Look at how guys have been innovating, doing projects. We saw the benches, we saw the beds, and there's a guy in Nakuru who's now doing gym equipment. So it's all yes. So we've just opened. We've been open for a month. And we are seeing a resurgence because guys have been at home. So yeah, so for the gym industry, I'm seeing a resurgence on my side. So it's a good time to apply the lessons that I learned. Thank you very much.
All right. And thank you very much. It's good to have you back again. I'm just going to take you through the topic that I prepared. Like I said, I didn't advertise it as much because I wanted to be especially for the guys that have been in the class before. But then again, we're going to record it and we're going to share it on YouTube. Like it's live on YouTube. I know I've been having issues with uploading videos on YouTube, and especially with the service provider that I'm using. Zuku is not the best for uploading YouTube, videos. So I've had to switch on to Safaricom here and there. But let me just take it through. I wanted to talk about bootstrapping. And bootstrapping has been a topic I took time to study. It's like now 3 weeks I've been studying about it. There's a book called the Bible of Bootstrapping, the Bible of Bootstrapping, or the Bootstrapping Bible. And it's a very interesting book. If you can get a hold of it, You can search for it online. I'll also try and share on our platform if you can get it. It's an amazing, amazing book. So the topic on bootstrapping, let me just share my slides so that you can benefit from, the notes from where you are. I know it's always my habit. So I'm going to take you through the pointers. Very simple. I think it will take us like 15, 20 minutes maximum. And then we're going to call it a night. It's not so much. So bootstrapping. And I'll begin with a quote from this gentleman called Richard Branson. And Richard Branson said, "A big business starts small. A big business starts small." And everybody here, I'm sure you have an experience, of one or two businesses that you've started, and possibly you started small. So when you talk about starting a business small, today's generation wants, to start business and become Amazon tomorrow. We want to start a business and become Facebook tomorrow. They want to start a business and become, who else? Airport tomorrow. But it's a technique that every entrepreneur needs to learn, and especially the idea of starting small. And if we can learn the idea of starting small, then we can always grow big, because so many people do not have the patience. And I know if I was to ask everyone today, what is the experience of starting a business? I'm sure everyone has a business experience. But now the question is, how patient are we to start small and grow big? How patient are we to start small and grow big? The point is, not everybody has that patience. And it's a very testing thing. The statistics show that 5%, only 5% of companies are actually financed by venture capitalists. And on this topic, I'm going to explain or to define these terms, especially venture capitalists, equity financing, investors, and the like. But much as we know the venture capitalists, they only finance 5% of startups. And that's a very small percentage, and especially if we want to grow, in the line of business. Another statistics show that angel investors are responsible for funding just 91%, 0.91% of the startups. Venture capitalists finance only 0.05% of startups. That's a very small percentage. So no matter how we look at it, venture capitalists are very small, contributors to startups, and also angel investors are very small contributors to startups. So this basically tells us that majority of us are going to finance ourselves all through. But of course, there are other ways of financing our businesses. And that's where I may want to start. Now, this is supposed to be types of financing that we have, not statistics, please check on that. Types of financing. Number one type of financing that you can have, or capital financing, is venture capital. Venture capital. Let me just maybe define venture capital for a while. Venture capital refers to financing that comes from companies or individuals in business of investing in young people, private investors, young businesses. They invest in those companies. But as much as we are talking about venture capitalists investing in small businesses, they ask for some shares. They ask for some shares, or they ask for ownership. And that becomes a very tricky bit. And that's why I'm going to differentiate between bootstrapping, venture capitalists, and all these other people. Venture capitalists provide capital to those businesses. Maybe even if you want to apply for a venture capital right now, you can apply for venture capital because people are willing to invest. But again, these people do not invest for free. They will ask for ownership. They will ask for ownership. Another lot is private equity investors. Private equity investors, they're just like venture capitalists. Private equity is a source of investment capital from high net worth individuals or firms. So, maybe a company like Microsoft may be financing startups in Kenya, and they become private equity investors. But when it comes to private equity investors, they look for established companies. Venture capitalists invest in startups and they grow them. But private equity investors, they look for established organizations and they invest in them, and especially in terms of asking for a bigger share. And I'm going to show you that. The other lot that invest or help startups are angel investors. Right? Angel investors, of course, are the individuals and businesses that are interested in helping small businesses to survive and grow. And especially right now during COVID-19, there are so many angel investors who are coming to Africa to help startups and grow them, to nurture them. They are different from venture capital and private equity investors. I'm going to show you that shortly. And then you can also contribute or look for capital through borrowed funds. You can also do that through borrowed funds. Borrowed funds here, we're talking about circles, we're talking about, welcome Karaoke, I've seen you, Jackson, I've seen you. When you talk about borrowed funds, you can still finance your business through borrowing funds from banks, from circles, from friends, from family, from where. All these are people that can contribute or can lend you money to start or even to boost your business. Because right now during COVID-19 and after COVID-19, we are not only talking about startups, we are also talking about boosting or reviving your business. And finally, personal funding. So we have different sources of capital, whether that capital is working capital or startup capital. We have venture capital, private equity investors, angel investors, borrowed funds, and personal funding. Now, this is important to note. And before I move on from there to bootstrapping, let me just give you a difference between angel investors and private equity. What's the difference? All right, angel investors participate in businesses that are so early stage, and they may be pre-revenue with few to no customer at all. So if you're talking about angel investors, these are people who are willing to come to Johnny's gym, look at the idea or listen to the idea. Johnny may not have so many equipment, but then he will get funding from angel investors. They may not be so keen on how much have you put in. But then when you talk about private equity, these are firms that invest when a company has gone beyond generating revenue and developed profitable margins, stable cash flow, and can service a significant amount of debt. So that's a difference. Please note the difference between angel investors and private equity. That's a deep topic I may not engage in right now, but I felt it's good to differentiate the two. If you're looking for angel investors, you may want to ask yourself at what stage is your business. If you're looking for private equity investor, you also need to ask yourself at what stage is your business. Now, there's also a difference between venture capitalists and private equity. And venture capitalists finance and mentor startups and young companies that are growing rapidly in exchange for a minority stake of equity. Now, most of the venture capitalists will ask for less than 50% ownership. But when we talk about private equity, they will ask for more than 50%. Majority of private equity investors, they seek control of a company. Venture capitalists may not seek control of a company, but they may want a stake of maybe 30%, 40%, but less than 50%. So depending on what stage again of your business is or your business is at, you may want to know which capital or investor am I looking for. But that's not my topic today. I'm only trying to compare because these are going to help us see the bigger view. I want to talk about bootstrapping your business. Bootstrapping your business. This is critical because bootstrapping business is not looking for venture capitalists, it's not looking for private equity investors. You're not looking for borrowing. You want to pull up your business all through. Now, let me define this term. And I'm gonna bring you back after the meeting or after the presentation to hear your views. What is bootstrapping your business? The word bootstrapping originates from the famous phrase to pull oneself up by one's own boots or bootstraps. So if you know shipyard boots, if you have ever seen the army boots, they have straps. And basically what the terminology says is you pull yourself up. It's very difficult. Actually, it expresses the difficulty of pulling up yourself. It's not easy. And it's not gonna be easy, because many people run for venture capitalists, because when you get that quick funding, then you can fly. If you get that private equity investor, you can fly. But many companies that bootstrap themselves, they take time to grow. But I'm going to show you the advantages. Now, it literally translates to the process of using one's own finances and resources to build and grow a business. When you're bootstrapping yourself, you are using your own money. You're also using your own way of bootstrapping yourself. And when I was meditating upon this, terminology, I thought about a person or a contractor or an owner of a building who is starting a building and there's no funding at all. For example, if you're building a 5 million house and you have to buy the plot by yourself, you can't get a loan, and you go to the, you go to your savings, you go to your company and start drawing pesa kidogo kidogo to grow your business. Now, that is typical bootstrapping of a building. A bootstrapper who is an entrepreneur does exactly the same. You look at the finances that you have and try to pull up your business with it. It's not going to be easy. The entrepreneur who engages in bootstrapping, of course, is called a bootstrapper. So if you're bootstrapping yourself, if you're pulling up yourself with your bootstrap or the straps of your boots, you are a bootstrapper. And a majority here I know are bootstrappers. I don't know whether it's easy to access money from the bank, but anyway, let's see. I got this scripture because I felt it was also relevant with bootstrapping. And it says, if you are faithful in little things, you will be faithful in large ones. But if you are dishonest in little things, you won't be honest with greater responsibilities. So a bootstrapper actually applies a biblical principle of being faithful with a little. So if you had 100,000 when you're starting, or if you had 50,000 when you're starting, then that is exactly what you have, and you pull yourself up all the way to the top with that 50,000. And there are skills and qualities that you require to be able to achieve that. Now, let me give you the 4 phases of a business that is being bootstrapped. And this is where your business is growing through. And majority are here. Number 1 is the starting point of a business. The second level is the validating stage. The third level is optimizing stage and the scaling stage. Now, quickly, let me take you through this if you're taking notes. At the starting level, a bootstrapper understands that, number 1, this is a very critical level for himself or for herself. At this stage, time is the highest or the biggest resource of an entrepreneur. You must understand time. You must know how you're rising after time. If you're starting a business, you can't wait, you can't procrastinate, you must start it immediately. People who are looking for venture capitalists, private equity investors, angel investors, they may buy time, but a bootstrapper does not have time to waste. So a bootstrapper must observe time. That's the starting level. You must observe how you manage your time. These are people who work long hours. I know some of you, I talk to you and you tell me, I'm waking up at 4 a.m., I have a program to run. Why? Because a bootstrapper, all that he or she has is time. And I want to challenge you at your starting level, manage your time. Manage your time. Starting level, you need to know how you apply time, because time will translate to money. The second phase is called the validating phase of a business. Now, validating is how do you validate the people you have, or how do you validate the interests that you have? How do you validate the staff that you have? How do you validate your customers? This is a point where you have to know who is with you. And I want to say this because this is critical. When you, at the starting level, you may be trying and it may be try and error. But validation, this is where you cut down on cost. This is where you cut down on employees. This is where you cut down on some people that are not adding value to you. All right. All right. Sorry for. Let me mute everyone. Karibuni sana kila mtu. But let me mute. Right, someone may have to mute on their end. Let me just know who it is. All right, it's mute, thank you. So I'm talking about the stages or the phases of business that is being bootstrapped. For those that are joining us right now, you may have to catch up with us because, like I said, I'll just use very little time. So at the validation level, if you are at the validation level of your business, then you may need to understand what you need. This is where, and I love what Wale said, Dr. Wale said on Thursday. This is where you have to be very honest with yourself. Who do you need in your business? Who don't you need in your business? A bootstrapper does not think twice. If you have to cut cost at the validation level, cut cost. If you have to lay off, lay off. If you have to get a partner out, get a partner out, because validation is validation. If you miss it out at the validation level, then you may not recover anytime soon. You need to establish what you need to outsource. Some people or some suppliers, you may want to outsource them. You may want to outsource some services at the validation level. When you come to optimization level, and this is that stage of a business which is being bootstrapped, the validation, the optimization level is where you need to optimize what you have. And I want you to think about where you are or the stage that you are in right now. Smoothen the rough edges of your business model and fine-tune the process at the optimization level. You need to focus on customer experience and improving your systems. When you are optimizing, if you are at that stage right now and you're in this class or you're listening or even after, make sure that your systems are working perfectly. Make sure that your customer experience is perfect. Make sure that your staff are up to, they are tuned to up to speed with your vision. Because again, optimizing, this is where you may want to think about bringing in an investor. And I'm going to show you in a few. At the starting level, you may want to do it alone. At the validation level, you may want to do it alone. But optimization, people are interested, and people like venture capitalists are interested with businesses that are optimized. You know your profits, you know your expenditure, you've cut down your costs, and you're now ready for takeoff. So at this level, you may attract investors. Level 1 is startup, level 2 is validation, and level 3 is optimizing. Optimizing here, you need to improve the sales process, fine-tune the process of your business. And I'm talking about bootstrapping. If you are at that level, make sure that your sales process is so fine-tuned that if a person comes to buy from you, they know the process, it's clear. Refine your value proposition and then adjust the sales funnel. That is the level of optimizing. At that stage, you should not be thinking about vision, mission. It should be fine-tuned. Like I've trained you on strategic management. That is the level where you execute your dream. The final level of a bootstrapped business is scaling. Now, at the scaling level, you drive through aggressively. You drive growth aggressively, while maintaining excellence in quality and service. Then you increase your sales, you perfect back-end processes, and also implement processes of procedures. So at the scaling level here, you've fine-tuned your systems. Now you're ready for takeoff.
You have to do something to make your father forget about you.
All right. Once again, I request everyone to mute from the end. So those are the four levels of a bootstrapped business. Quickly, let me take you to the next stage. When we talk about bootstrapping has benefit and advantages and disadvantages. If you're financing yourself, if you're doing it all by yourself, you need to understand at the starting level, at the optimizing level, at the scaling level, at the fine-tuning level, what am I supposed to be doing? Now, let me take these notes quickly. Number one benefit of a bootstrapped business is you are the boss. You are the boss. When we talk about being the boss, the disadvantage of getting a venture capitalist or the disadvantage of getting a private equity investor is you are never the boss of your business. Now, there's something sweet about being the boss. There's something sweet about being the boss. Everybody who is invited, and I had a discussion with Johnny sometimes back, and we're just talking about the people that are becoming, motivational speakers like Mr. Washuri. They are easily listened to, or they are least easily heard because they are the boss. Now, when you're not the boss of your business, people don't give audience to you as much when you're talking about business, and especially if you're a motivational speaker, because there's a difference between training and motivating. People will listen to a motivational speaker on a business when they have a track record of what they have achieved. It's easy for people like Vushi Tabakwayo to talk about business and motivate because they are the boss. People introduce them as the boss. And we all need to fight to become the boss of our own businesses. When you have the address of a CEO or the designation of a CEO, people respect you. And I mean, this comes with a lot of benefits. When you go to the bank and you want to borrow for a business, they will quickly want to hear and understand, are you the boss? If you are not the boss, they would want to hear from the boss because the boss is the final say, right? That's important. Equity investors, angel investors, they will always ask for shares or the shareholding. Okay, today I really have trouble. So please, once again, mute. Thank you. Let me continue. So the equity investors and private investors will often put parameters on your business or how you run your business. And this is not something you want to go through when you're starting. So if I'll give an example of Tyras, for example, Tyras, who is in the business of tax business. All right. Let me track the person who is not mute now, because I have to manage this. All right, thank you. Please ensure that you're muted on your end. Thank you. So I was giving an example of Tyras. Tyras is in tax business and undertaking business. When today you go for any discussion of partnership and you're the boss, there's power in being the boss of your business. So I was saying this, try and maintain or retain your boss position. When you have equity investors, when you have this venture capitalist, they will never allow you to make some critical decisions. They will always tie you back. Of course, it's good for accountability, but when you're starting, when you're growing your business, try and have that control. That's important. That's very important. The other thing about bootstrapping is freedom. It's freedom. Please take note of this. Without the influence of investors and venture capitalists, you can mold your business in any way you wish without having to worry that you're taking your company in someone else's direction. Sometimes it feels bad when someone tells you, no, this is not the direction we are taking this direction. People who invest in your business at an early stage, they will most often control your dream. They'll manipulate your direction. They'll manipulate where you're headed to. So bootstrapping, I'm encouraged and I'm biased towards bootstrapping because you need to direct your business towards where you want it to go. Every entrepreneur begins with a dream. And when you have that dream in mind, and when you're taking your business towards your dream, there's satisfaction that comes with it. So as an entrepreneur, try not to bring investors too early, because what it does is it takes away your freedom to direct your business towards your dream. And this is critical for every entrepreneur. By self-funding or bootstrapping your own business, you are only answerable to yourself. And it's important. It's important. Imagine I had a discussion with one of us here. I will not mention names, but I know, he or she is listening. And they had a partner when they started their business. And at some point, the partner began to ask for things that were more than the negotiated, points or the negotiated parts of the business. When you have a partner too early, when you have an investor too early, they'll begin to throw cards to you that will take away your freedom. But a bootstrapper, a bootstrapping business will have the freedom to do, especially to have the freedom to make decisions. That's critical. Please remember this because it's very important. The third benefit of bootstrapping your business is the learning curve. The learning curve. Now, quickly, let me tell you this. When you bootstrap your business, you learn a lot. You learn a lot. And one of the richest, one of the wealth of entrepreneurs is what they have learned. The experience of a bootstrapper is not like the experience of an entrepreneur who has been given money to do business. When they start to talk, they will have different, terminologies or different language. So when you bootstrap your business, you have a learning experience. The experience of an entrepreneur is his wealth. When you learn through the process, it is your wealth. So try and learn through the process. It may take time to do that, but it's important for you to learn through the process. Venture capitalists and angel investors tend to babysit entrepreneurs. You don't need babysitting. I'm trying to encourage you towards bootstrapping. You don't need to be babysat. If you can pull yourself through one day, you will stand and tell people, this is where I was, this is where I am. And I know today I'm sounding like a motivational speaker, but it's okay. Let me sound this way, but it's important. Don't be babysat by investors. You learn to handle pressure a lot better. When you bootstrap your business, you learn to handle pressure. And this is important. An entrepreneur who has bootstrapped himself has better stress management techniques than someone who has been given money to do their own business. Bootstrapping gives you control over the finances and the expenses of your business. And that's quite important. And finally, you try to keep the cost down when you are bootstrapping. Then number 4 is innovation. There's nothing sweeter than an entrepreneur becoming innovative. And can I tell you this today, that when you are get investors, equity investors, all these people, you do not have the time to be creative. It is said that necessity is the mother of innovation, and it's true. So when you're bootstrapping your business, you become creative. And through that creativity, you are able to get your business moving and coming up with ideas to make your business better. So bootstrapping helps you to be innovative. Creativity is a tool that entrepreneurs need, especially right now. When you have limited resources, you are forced to invent, reinvent, and innovate. When you have limited resources, you are forced to reinvent yourself, invent yourself, and innovate yourself. So try and be a bootstrapper. You become a good decision maker through learning through the process, through innovation. And finally, the sense of accomplishment. How sweet is it? 5 years, 10 years in business, feeling that you have achieved and you have made it happen. By the help of God, of course, you accomplish a lot. Now, there is a sense of accomplishment that comes with knowing that you built your business from the scratch to where it is. Self-made millionaires are always lauded and praised for their rags to riches stories. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, to be applauded as a rag to riches entrepreneur, build your business through bootstrapping. Bootstrap it, finance it, cut costs. I'm going to tell you something before I finish about bootstrapping. One of the things that you want to do is the experience. I hosted someone last year in a discussion that we had in a church program. It was a Believers Economic Empowerment Program. And she was giving an example of how she began as a house help. The ladies who go to people's houses to clean, to wash clothes, and they are paid 250, 500 shillings. And from that level of washing clothes at people's homes to owning a cleaning company, which is right now very recognized. If I mention the name, of course, you know it. That story of rags to riches or from scratch to something is a very enticing story, and it builds an accomplishment. When they give those stories, is a sign of I have achieved, I have accomplished a lot. So please don't run through the process. Accomplish. And every stage you accomplish, you'll feel the satisfaction, because a bootstrapper feels the satisfaction of achieving. I was sharing with one of you, I think yesterday, and they were telling me that since they went out of partnership, they have achieved a lot. They have 5 customers that are buying from them consistently. That is an accomplishment, and a sense of accomplishment. When you bootstrap, one client makes you satisfied. When you are financed, when you're given money by equity investors, when you're given money by angel investors, sometimes you don't feel like you're accomplishing a lot. You feel like what you're achieving is them achieving through you. And so that is why I'm biased towards bootstrapping your business. Please feel that and take that to your heart. And finally, let me talk about challenges of bootstrapping, because again, where there are advantages, there are going to be challenges. I don't talk about disadvantages, I talk about challenges because challenges can be overcome. Challenges can be, done away with. The place of bootstrapping is capital access. If you're bootstrapping your business, the bootstrapper entrepreneur doesn't have strong access to capital. And I know you're going through that. Some of us are going through that. You feel like you don't have money to revive your business. But let me tell you something. I would rather sell my car, and after selling my car, I restart my business, take it further to a better level, and then from there, I buy another car, than getting money from people, putting my, into my business, and they control my vision and dream. Whatever I can do, I've had discussions with people who have cut on cost. They move from, actually it was last Saturday, I was listening to a discussion somewhere, and one of the panelists said, they move from a 2-bedroom house to a bed-sitter so that they can refinance their business, because they saved some amount which they could put into the business. Someone is selling a car, which may be a 4x4 car, and buying a Pro Box or buying a Honda Fit, and the margin they are getting from selling that big car to a smaller car, they put in the business. That is bootstrapping. So whatever you can do to bootstrap your business, you may have the challenge of capital access, but try and get money from within your assets and bootstrap your business. At the end of it, you'll be so happy and fulfilled. The other challenge is obscurity. Now, the bootstrapper entrepreneur takes time to grow his brand, and sometimes you may feel like nobody knows you. And it's okay. It's a feeling that everybody has. Sometimes when let me give my own example. If I look at Dr. Wale, I really feel like I'm a grasshopper, quote unquote. I am not a grasshopper, but when I look at myself and Dr. Wale, I'm a starter. I'm a boy, I'm a baby. But you know what? I know that it's a period that I have to go through and pay the price to get to where someone like Dr. Wale is. For someone like Vush Tabakwaya, who is a big, big name, I may look small, or someone they call what, a public speaker may look small, but that obscurity is for a while or for a period. If you keep doing what you're doing, bootstrapping will take you up there. And I'm telling you the truth, I am not a grasshopper. I am big in my dream, and I'm getting to where I'm going. You are the same, and you're getting to where you're going. The other challenge is unskilled labor. Many times when entrepreneurs are bootstrapping, they don't have the ability to hire the best. And you may want to work with people who you are paying cheap, and they are also giving you cheap service. But this again is for a period of time. When you go through bootstrapping, one day you'll hire the experts. The advantage of people that are financed by equity investors and angel investors is that they are able to hire the best, and they seem to grow very fast. But you know what? You can still work with unskilled labor for some time, and you'll get there. I tend to relate with schools. I'm a chairman of a secondary school, and when we started the school, we had to hire actually 80% of the teachers, or through the board, unskilled labor. But as the school grows, as the school continues to become better and better, we have begun to hire TSC teachers. Why? Because unskilled labor is for bootstrappers. You don't need to borrow to pay salaries. You may want to be patient with unskilled labor until you are able to pay for the skilled labor. Then the other challenge is risk bearing. An entrepreneur, a bootstrapper entrepreneur bears the whole risk. You bear the whole risk. the risk of finances, the risk of goods, the risk of sales, the risk of having challenges with customers. But again, like I said, when you carry the challenges and you bear them, it is just for a while. I want to encourage every bootstrapper here. The challenges you're going through are just but for a while. If you can keep doing what you're doing, sooner than later, you're going to come out of where you are. Then finally, slow growth. Every bootstrapper has a challenge of growing slow. And sometimes when we are growing slow, we tend to feel like we are giving up. We tend to feel like we are not able to wait for that time to grow. But let me tell you something. People may not know you today. You may have slow growth, but when you get to the peak, every bootstrapper has sustainability. The challenge of getting private investors too early is when they withdraw from your investment or from your business, they cripple you. When they come out of, when they remove their money or their capital, then what you do is you start struggling again after 10 years. You don't need to struggle after 10 years. Struggle now and be able to take your business to where you're going. I want to finally end this presentation by these points, qualities of successful bootstrappers. What are the qualities of a successful bootstrapper? Number one is begin with the end in mind. If you want to be a successful bootstrapper, always have your vision in your fingertips. Always know what you want to achieve. Always know where you are going. Like Stephen Covey said, when you have the end in mind, you can work hard. The lessons I've drawn from athletes is an athlete begins the race knowing where it will end. And the energy they put in is based on the end they have in mind. So a good bootstrapper has the end in mind. Number two, you need to apply the 10x principle. Now, the 10x principle is a principle of working 10 times harder. You need to understand that you're not getting money from a bank. You're not getting free money from the government. You're not getting free money from investors or angel investors. You must work 10 times an investor or a business person who is getting all the funding. And don't compare yourself. Just wake up and put on the effort. Go look for the customers. Take the what it's called the book, the poster book. I'm forgetting its name, where all the names and the contacts are, and pick those contacts. Call and call and call. Don't get tired of selling and calling, because a bootstrapper must work 10 times harder. Number three, be disciplined. Be disciplined. There's nothing important but for a bootstrapper than the discipline of money, the discipline of time, the discipline of relationships. Please remember that discipline is what makes a bootstrapper successful. How disciplined you are today will determine where you get tomorrow. Record that in your mind anywhere you are. Then patience. Please remember that nothing is built in a day. Rome was not built in a day. You have to be patient to see Rome grow. You have to be patient. Success is not an event, it's a process. And every bootstrapper must be patient enough to see their businesses grow. Bootstrappers understand that patience is the greatest virtue. When you're patient, you see your business grow from level to level, from grace to grace, and it's important. Then number five is have stress management. Many bootstrappers give up when they're not able to manage their stress. I'm telling you the truth, bootstrapping is not easy. Sometimes you feel like giving up. Sometimes you feel like going to a country and giving up your dreams of business. But you know what? If you can manage your stress during your bootstrapping season, then you can manage stress when you're grown and when you're big. Don't break. Don't react. Respond to issues. And that is important. Number six, have strong negotiation skills. A good bootstrapper knows how to negotiate, because your profit is what defines your success. If you can negotiate your profit, if you can negotiate with your customers, if you can negotiate with your staff, even if you're hiring an expensive resource, how you negotiate and pay them little, or see how you can pay them with otherwise, then it's good for you. Every bootstrapper must have good negotiation skills. Negotiate your supplies. Then know your business well. It's very important. Stephen Covey said something in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and he said, seek to understand before being understood. Every bootstrapper must seek to understand their turf. You must seek to understand your business properly. I mean, if you're called at the middle of the night, you can tell people what you do and they'll put money in the account. Know what you do, know your dream, know your vision, and you're going to get far with your business. Number 8, grow your knowledge levels daily. Every bootstrapper prepares to one day sit with the kings. And I want to say this very strongly. If you are growing your business, expect to meet a customer of any caliber. This lady, Jane Karina, came to the program, and this is a lady I've seen interact with very senior people. The husband once was my boss, Bob Karina. And you know what? When these people come around you, you have to be very, able to engage them. Besides that, we have had discussions, and I'm telling you, Jenny Karina is coming for our Thursday discussion very soon. Why? Because I'm not leaving anything to chance. Now, I'm challenging you because very senior people will come across your business. They will come across what you do. You go to a Java meet, coffee meeting somewhere, and your governor will sit there. Johnny and Karaoke, Lee Kinyanju will sit somewhere, and he's just next to your table. What you need to do is you are able to go to Lee Kinyanjui, say hi to him, and tell him in a minute what you are doing and how the county government can help you. Every bootstrapper must have knowledge growing on a daily basis. You don't know who you're meeting tomorrow. And the person you're meeting, you must be fit and to fit in their shoes. You cannot be a mediocre, because when you meet those senior people, they want to hear excellence. They want to hear that you know what you're doing. And number 9, think win-win. A bootstrapper understands that everything he does is a win-win. For example, when you meet people that are important in life, when you have networking sessions, when you go for engagement, customer engagement, they need to understand that they are benefiting when they come to you. Never show people that you are the one benefiting only. A bootstrapper shows everybody they are benefiting. When you show people that they are benefiting from what you're doing, they will partner with you, they will engage you, they will connect you with reasonable people. So always think win-win when you are a bootstrapper. And finally, number 10, know your motive, know your center. Now, the word motive here is what motivates you, what keeps you going, what makes you happy. And when you talk about the center of your heart, some people are self-centered, money-centered, work-centered, pleasure-centered, friendly-centered, enemy-centered. Are you doing your business to show your enemies that you are able? That could be a wrong motive. Are you doing your business because your family is pushing you to do it? Then you're family-centered. Are you doing your business for money? You're money-centered. Are you doing your business for friends, or your friends to see that you are able? You're friendly-centered. And the moment where your center is removed, then you stop going. I'll give a very quick example. If you're doing business because your enemies are frustrating you and that you are enemy-centered, the day your enemies are normal, you will not be able to do business, because you're doing business because of your enemies. If you're doing your business to entertain a spouse or entertain your friend somewhere, the day those friends will not be interested in you, you will not have the drive, the motive to do what you're doing. So have the right motive to do what you're doing. And that is your motive, your center. Where is your center? Are you money-centered? If you are doing business because of money, the day money will not be coming. And I like again what Dr. Wale said, what you can do without money, that is what you need to do. Don't be money-centered. Have the right motive. And the right motive is always to have the people in mind, the people center, and you are going to go for a bootstrapper who has people's people at heart, or people's interest at heart. You will do it even when the money is not coming. So these are 10 qualities of a bootstrapper. And I have to end it here because of time. So thank you very much. And you have to be a bootstrapper and make a choice to be a bootstrapper. So please, this brings me to the end of the presentation. But again, I cannot end without hearing from someone telling us about bootstrapping, telling us about their experience of bootstrapping. And as I sign out from YouTube, let me just